Hi, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Peter.
And welcome to the Path of Light Institute. Why this training and who is it for? If you found this video, there's a good chance that something about regression work has already caught your attention. Maybe you're fascinated by the subconscious mind. Maybe you've experienced hypnosis or regression yourself. Maybe you're already a therapist, a counselor, a coach, a healer, or a hypnotherapist, and you're looking for another way to help the people you work with. Or perhaps you're simply at a point in your life where you feel called towards something deeper. One of the questions we hear quite often is, who is this training actually for? And the answer might surprise you. Because people come to this work for many different backgrounds and for many different reasons. Some already established professionals, some are beginning an entirely new chapter of their lives. And some simply have a profound curiosity about consciousness, healing, and the deeper mysteries of the human experience. What brings them together is not necessarily their profession, it's their curiosity, their willingness to listen, their compassion, and their desire to understand another human being at a deeper level. Past-life regression is sometimes misunderstood as simply taking someone into hypnosis and asking them to find a past life. But good regression work is much more sophisticated than that. You are working with the subconscious mind. You are working with memory, imagery, emotion, symbolism, and personal meaning. You're learning how to guide someone without imposing your own beliefs or expectations upon their experience. And perhaps, most importantly, you're learning how to create a space where another person feels safe enough to explore what arises naturally from within them. That requires more than memorizing a script. It requires presence, it requires listening, it requires intuition, it requires knowing when to ask questions and when to remain silent, when to guide, and when to allow the experience itself to unfold. That is why we believe regression should be taught as a genuine professional skill. In our training, we don't simply want students to understand regression intellectually. We want them to experience it themselves. You learn by studying the principles and techniques, of course, but you also learn by observing, by practicing, by conducting sessions, by receiving sessions, and by reviewing cases, and by gradually developing confidence in your own ability to work with another person. Because there is a tremendous difference between understanding hypnosis in theory and actually sitting across from someone who has entrusted you with a deeply personal experience. That is where the real learning begins. And another important part of this work is understanding that every client is different. One person may experience an incredibly vivid imagery. Another may experience sensations. Someone else may experience simply just something intuitively. Some people see, some people feel, some people hear, and some people remember. And some experience the process in ways that are very difficult to put into words. Our role is not to tell the client what they should experience. Our role is to learn how to work with the unique way their mind communicates. And that is one of the reasons we emphasize flexibility rather than simply following a script word for word. Scripts are valuable. They give students structure. They help you learn. But eventually, you have to learn to listen to the person in front of you. You have to understand the principles behind the technique. Because once you understand why you're asking a question or using a particular method, you become much more capable of adapting to the person you're actually working with. So who might benefit from this training? Certainly hypnotherapists who want to expand into regression work, therapists, counselors, coaches who are interested in deeper approaches to inner exploration, people already working in wellness, meditation, spiritual counseling, or related fields. But we've also seen people come to this work later in life. People have raised families. People have retired from another profession. People have spent years doing something completely different, and suddenly they realize, I want the next chapter of my life to have meaning. And that can be a beautiful reason to begin. You don't have to become someone else to do this work. In many ways, your life experience becomes part of what you bring to it. Your maturity, your compassion, your ability to sit with another human being without judgment. Those qualities matter tremendously. At Path of Light, our larger training pathway involves substantial study and practice because we believe people deserve to feel genuinely prepared before beginning a professional work with clients. Our broader program encompasses approximately 200 hours of training and development, and we take that very seriously, not because we want to make the process unnecessarily difficult, but because confidence comes from preparedness. When you finally sit with your own client, we want you to understand that you're doing, but because confidence comes from preparation. When you finally sit with your own client, we want you to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. We want you to have practiced. We want you to have experienced the process yourself. And we want you to have developed the ability to think independently rather than simply hoping that everything follows a perfect script. Because real sessions rarely do. And that is also what makes this work so fascinating. Every person brings an entirely different inner world. Every session teaches you something. And even after many years of doing this work, there can still be moments that surprise you, moments of profound emotion, moments of understanding, moments when someone suddenly sees and experiences a relationship or even their life from an entirely different perspective. We don't tell people what their experience means. We help them explore what the experience means to them. That distinction is incredibly important. Regression work should never be about convincing someone what to believe. It should be about exploration, curiosity, and allowing people to discover their own understanding. So if you're wondering whether this training might be right for you, I would ask you something slightly different. Are you curious about the mind? Are you fascinated about consciousness? Do you enjoy listening deeply to people? Can you approach another person's experience without needing to control it? Are you willing to learn, practice, and develop your skills? And do you feel that perhaps there is another dimension to the work you're meant to do? If the answer to those questions is yes, then this may be something worth exploring. You don't need to have all the answers before you begin. You simply need the curiosity and willingness to learn. Because ultimately, becoming a good regression practitioner isn't about having extraordinary abilities. It's about learning how to help another person explore the extraordinary landscape that already exists within them.